This
Reverend
conference will now be recorded.
Reverend Matt Corley from Trinity Methodist Church will provide the invocation.
Let us pray. Gracious God, we thank you for this time that you've given us today. Lord, we ask you to bless this meeting. Father, be with the commissioners, empower them, guide them to do your will in our community. Father, we just ask that you would fill them with your Holy Spirit, give them direction and guidance. Fill us all with your Holy Spirit. Give us wisdom and grace for this meeting. Lord, just empower all of us to do what's best for this community and this county. We ask all of this in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. At this time, Paul R. Brown, academic color guards, will lead us in the present the colors, and then Dr. Opie Munn go and just lead us in the pledge of allegiance.
Read, colors, Lord, arch, out, colors, out, read, and arms. Sir, permission to present the colors.
Permission granted.
Aye, sir. Read, colors, colors reverse, arch. Colors, out, read, and arms.
At this time, the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Read, colors, colors reverse, arch. Colors, out, read, and arms. Sir, permission to retire the colors.
Permission granted.
Aye, sir. Read, colors. Aye, face, forward, arch.
I know. So on behalf of the Bladen County Commission, we want to give you just a little token for you coming tonight and presenting the color for us. Thank you so much.
Fantastic job.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Y'all have a great day.
Have a motion to approve the consent items. Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Item 3 is special recognition, presentation of child abuse prevention month proclamation. Y'all come forward, commissioners, and ladies.
It's warm in here. I'll take these coats off. Unless they're buckled.
Whereas our children represent our greatest hope for the future, and Bladen County remains steadfast in its commitment to the safety and security of our children children, families, and communities. And whereas every child is entitled to be loved, cared for, nurtured, and be free from verbal, sexual, emotional, and physical abuse and neglect. And whereas it is the responsibility of every adult who comes in contact with a child to protect that child's inalienable right to a safe and nurturing childhood. And whereas Bladen County has dedicated individuals and organizations who work daily to counter the problem of child maltreatment and to help parents obtain the assistance they need. And whereas our communities are stronger when all citizens become aware of child maltreatment prevention and become involved in supporting parents to raise their children in a safe and nurturing environment. And whereas effective child abuse prevention programs succeed because of partnerships among families, social service agencies, schools, religious and civic organizations, law enforcement agencies, and the business community. Whereas all citizens, community agencies, faith organizations, and businesses will work to increase their efforts to support families. Now therefore be it resolved that the Bladen County Board of Commissioners hereby proclaims the month of April to be Child Abuse Prevention Month. The Bladen County Board of Commissioners commends this observation to the citizens of Bladen County.
So on behalf of the Bladen County Commissioners and the citizens of Bladen County, thank y'all for what y'all do for the children in Bladen County.
Thank you very much. We would just like to thank everybody who always give us your constant support in the community. It truly does take a village to work together to keep the children safe in Bladen County, and we are very gracious for all of our staff and the county commissioners as well. Thank you all.
Thank you.
And item 4 is individuals, delegates who wish to address the commissioners. Ms. Marie?
Mr. Jason Hawley.
Front center. There was a sign in our neighborhood about a special meeting for an ATV park and campground, special use permit that was supposed to be today. Is that on tonight's agenda?
No, sir, that's next Tuesday, I think, with the planning board. We are
Okay.
commissioners, we appoint the planning board.
Yeah, that was supposed to be.
Well, anyways, there's an ATV park that's scheduled to go in the county, sorry. And, anyways, just want to speak on some of our concerns as a community. One is overloading the already overworked, emergency fire department, with things such as injuries from this park, the noise that will be going, through the night because they offer night rides that will be going around many of these folks' homes, as well as the, potential drinking that will hit the highway with these vehicles that are rated to go on and off-road. And just concerned about what that's gonna bring for the community of White Oak and how it might overload an already tired system there. So, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
James Pate.
Good evening, everybody. I know I have 3 minutes. I'm gonna do my best to get it all in. My house is directly in front of what the ATV park would be. My daughter's house is even closer because she's further back on our property. Or it's her property, but we adjoin. I did not know about this until about Thursday of last week, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. There was a little tiny sign, and I don't know when that was put there, but I know the meeting is the 15th, and I know you're not the planning board, but I have a few questions and a couple of comments. First of all, I do know that our property is designated by the county as residential, private residential. I do know that there's no way you can say an ATV park is private residential. And so he's got to have, Mr. John Kane is the man who wants to do this, he's got to have a permit from the planning board. And you know what, I've called and talked to a lot of people. I've called planning board people, I've called commissioners, and I'm so confused on some of the answers I'm getting that I thought if I came here tonight that I could get cleared up on some things. Because I have been told that the only way that we can stop this ATV park from being right behind my house is that we, the people in White Oak, have to figure out what it would be illegal about it. And so the reason I'm confused about that is if the commissioners are going to zone an area as private residential, it seems to me the answer is easy. No, you can't put an ATV park in there. That is private residential. Otherwise, why even have them come before a planning board? Why even have a planning board? Just let them do what they want to as long as they come and ask. I'm not trying to be ugly. I really am not, but I'm so frustrated. I called Mr. Gregg at the planning board, and I said, Mr. Gregg, will you help me with this? And he basically said the same thing. We have to figure out what would be illegal about it. Me? I'm not on the board. I'm not a commissioner, but I've been trying. I will tell you, I've given it my dead level best. I have got a call in to the Army Corps of Engineers. My husband has gone back there, Stuart, right there, has gone back there since we've been living there and walked that land, and he says it's wet. The whole back there is wet. There's very little dry ground that you could put a ATV park on. I don't believe a commissioner or a planning board member has been in our neighborhood, and if they have, I apologize with all my heart. But I've not seen anybody. Nobody's knocked on my door. I didn't get a letter. My daughter didn't get a letter, and she's closer to it than I am. Her property is right on the line. And I have been trying my best to get somebody to do some research and see if that is wetland back there or if it's even protected land back there. There's some reason nobody has tried this before. And, you know, I put in a call to the Army Corps of Engineers. They said they will call me back. They haven't done that yet. I called on Friday. I get it. They're busy. I don't know if I can get them to come, but y'all could. The planning board could. And now I find out Mr. Gregg's going to be gone till Wednesday. So I can't even get a map of the area that I could send to the Army Corps of Engineers that I know. I mean, I think I have to get it from him. It's not fair, y'all. Every bit of it has been put on us, the people in the neighborhood. I only know of 3 people who got a letter. I only know of 3. Did any of you folks get a letter?
I didn't get one, and I say directly across.
Mr. Alvarez, did you get a letter?
Yes.
You did get a letter? Okay, so Mr. Alvarez, the Cornwells, and there's one other person, but I can't remember who that one is. I'm sorry.
The Collins.
So nobody's come and talked to us. Nobody's gone back there and walked the land to look at it. And I'm being told, I will say this before the good Lord in heaven. I have been told by Mr. Gregg and also by even a commissioner that we have to figure out a law that he's going to be breaking in order for them to say no. That makes no sense. The land is zoned private residential. The way I interpret that is private residential. And if you got a planning board, and the commissioners and the planning board, I guess, work together to designate what everything's gonna be. And I know some things are farming residential. I don't have a problem with that. If I had come here 20 years ago, of course, I grew up in Bladen County, and we've lived in Bladen County probably a total of, good night, probably 50 years as married people, me and Stuart. So I just don't get it. I keep losing my, I'm sorry. I don't understand why, if it's designated private residential, there's even a question about, oh, we have to give it to him unless we can find some law he's breaking. Really? He's breaking your covenant when he does that. And if that board lets him build it back there, they're breaking their covenant with me. And y'all know I've never been in jail. Some people might have wanted me there because I'm vocal. But I'm just saying that is not right. Y'all need to look out for us, the people who bought there in good faith. Stuart and I, he's going to be 84. He may not want me telling all this. I'm going to be 79, May and June. We came here to live where we grew up in Bladen County our last years. And we picked a safe place and a quiet place so our grandchildren and our children, and now we're getting great-grandchildren, would want to come and see us. And that we could live out our lives happy. And I'm telling you, we all know what an ATV park brings in. I'm going to share something with you. I don't broadcast this, but today I'm going to broadcast it. I'm dealing with stage 4 metastatic small cell lung cancer that has gone to my bones. I don't need this. It's not fair. If you want it to be business, residential, then for heaven's sake, put it that way to start with. Don't sell me land saying I'm going to have a private residence and then use your power to change it. You tell me where that's fair. And from the back of the Boy Scout camp unto the post office in White Oak, which is somewhere between 3 and 4 miles, that thing reaches. Look at the map. He's already been advertising it and has a web page and everything since the 3rd of April. I didn't know nothing about that. I went and looked on it. And he's told some of the people that are talking to him, oh yeah, we'll have night driving. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have a snorkel pond. Really? And nobody has done anything to do the research to my knowledge. I don't think I'm being unfair. I know people like to drive those things and have a lot of fun. I'm not against that. But for heaven's sake, buy the one that you already had. Oh, no, you don't want him to do that. I've talked to some law enforcement people, and they said that was a mess. Constantly having to go down there. And this guy doesn't want that one. He told Greg he didn't want that one. Greg told me this. And you can ask Greg, I don't care. I'm not a liar. He told Greg he didn't want that one because it wasn't close enough to Fayetteville. I am 15 minutes from Elizabethtown or less, depending on your speed. I'm not mad at y'all. I'm not. I'm just upset, okay? And I have a right to be. I have a right to be. And you all have an obligation to make the planning board stick with your plan. Well, if you don't, then what you have done is you have just jerked the rug out from under all these people, and you've not lived up to your obligation to us. I've lived up to my obligation to this county. I have taught kids here many, many years. I have tutored for free. I have paid my taxes. I am not mean to people. I do everything I can to help people in Bladen County. I love Bladen County, and I teach because I love Bladen County, and I tutor because I love Bladen County, and I want our students to be able to read and succeed. But I don't understand why I feel like right now that you have no obligation to me. I hope that's not true. That's how I feel. I'm just being honest. And that planning board, I know I'm going over, but I'm going to say one more thing. The Boy Scout camp does not want it. I know that for a fact. They don't want it. And none of us want it. And those of us who could come came. And I just pray you would work on some things with that planning board. A bigger sign when you're going to disrupt the neighborhood, not one like this. Let all the people know, go talk to the people, go walk the property. I'm sorry, I'm going to try to be calm, but I can't be calm about it. I just can't.
So, Ms. Faith, can I respond? First of all, I'm sorry about you.
I gotta come where I can hear
Come
you.
on up here. I'm sorry about your health issues. But this, it's on private residential, but he's asking for a special use.
A special permit, yes,
And
sir.
a special use permit, if it's approved, voids is private and residential.
Well, you should not do that. How can y'all let that happen?
It's law.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Let me finish, please. So, the commissioners has nothing to do with this zoning.
I thought y'all did the zoning.
No, ma'am, special use permit is approved by the planning board, not this board of
But
commissioners.
I thought the commissioners
No,
made
ma'am.
the zone.
No, ma'am.
They didn't, okay.
We don't have nothing to do with this special use permit. It goes to that planning board. If that planning board denies it, well and good. If they approve it, and the only recourse you've got is the court system.
Then I'll go there if that's what I have to do.
I'm telling you what I know and what's
Yeah.
true, and that's where
I
it's at.
understand. My understanding was, I went and read about the zoning. I went on the county site and read some about the zoning. And I understood that the commissioners
We do the
did the
zoning,
zoning.
but the special use permit overrides our zoning. Is
That's
that correct?
wrong.
Well,
Y'all need to fix that.
that's the law.
No, that's
Okay.
wrong.
Ray wanted to speak
Yeah, go
first.
ahead. No, Mr. Ray's first.
Ray wanted to say something.
I hear you, Miss Dave. And if I lived there, I'd be the same way. I've had 5 calls from the Boy Scout camp. I hear you loud and clear. I think I just gave you my answer. But, I hear all of it without you even saying anything. And I hope what you're hearing is right. I depend on that man over at that time. You better lead us and the planning board in the right direction. Because if we have any authority at all, I want to know it
Well, don't you have this?
before I have to find out in a courtroom. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and so I'm, just for clarification, I'm the one that told you, and I didn't say you all need to find a law, I said we need to find a legal way to stop this.
We include
Hold on.
me though, that's why I got
No, I know.
confused.
Let me finish. If we say, well, doggone it, we don't need an ATV park in Bladen County, we ain't gonna allow it to happen. Then they'll seek legal recourse, we'll spend a ton of money, and we're gonna lose. So we've got to make sure moving forward, we can't just, I pastor a church at White Lake. To be honest, there was more people at White Lake that didn't want that church than that did.
Churches,
I know,
they do that in
I totally agree. But there has to be a legal recourse. And so I just wanted, before it goes any further, I didn't tell you that you all need to find a law. We've got to find, like Mr. Ray said, if there's a legal way for us to stop it, I think every one of us will do our best.
Can I make a request then? And then I'll sit down, I promise.
One thing you can do is, the map, you can go to the tax office and get a copy of that map.
Yeah.
And that,
That's
what I was
Yeah,
So I have a request, I'm gonna sit down, y'all been very patient, I appreciate it. I'm sorry I get emotional, but that's life. Will you please get that land checked out and find out if it is wetland? If it is wetland, he cannot put it there, I know that for a fact.
The
Ma'am,
map, well, you should be able to see that on that.
well, we looked on it and and still was there.
Okay.
I just sent you a link to that, so,
Thank you.
Ms. Jane, I just sent you a link, so you can pull up the map on your phone or on a computer.
I got a hard time.
It's called a GIS, you can pull up that map.
I've looked at that map 100 times.
I tried to call you yesterday, 'cause you had called me, and I did go look at it, by the way, 'cause
Yeah.
I'm right there behind that horse
Well,
farm.
did you tell did you go look at the
I went
land?
and looked at what you were telling me about, and, you know, I've got my own, you know, like all of us, but I just want to let you, I did follow through.
Thank you, I appreciate you doing that. If you would just do some research for us, people aren't gonna answer me, I'm just Jane Page, they don't know me from a tree out there in the yard, but they would listen to a county commissioner.
I've made a call to the forum myself. I did it Friday. I hadn't been answered yet either.
Thank you.
So I don't mind telling any and everybody, yes, I've made my own personal call.
Well, please stay on it, because if that's true, then the whole thing is moot.
We got to move on, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Page.
Our planning board is
Next.
Mr. Richard Justice.
I don't need to touch a whole lot on it, but you know why I'm here too, about the park. I got about 50 acres right across from where a lot of this is gonna be. I just don't want us to have another thing like we got out here on 701. So I won't hold much of your time, but it's already been put out.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Alvarez.
Alvarez.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
My concern is having a park there. It's a small community, there's a lot of kids. The consequences of having a park is very important in a negative way, because you have the noise that's gonna come with it. You're gonna come with the abuse of music, loud music. You have to account for the drugs that are gonna be coming in those parks, because that happens. We already seen what happened across the river here, where the county closed that, park that they had there. We don't wanna go through this. I spent 22 years in the service, and I went through a lot of things. I was knocked out by blast simulators. I had tanks firing weapons next to me, and I got 2 hearing aids because of that. I moved here 20 years ago, and I don't want to go through the same thing again. And my concern is not only for me or the community, the children that are coming up, because they see these things and they get rowdy too, and we don't want that to happen. May God bless you all.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Alvarez, and thank you for your service.
Mr. Wayne Schaefer.
Okay, folks, short and sweet, consistent with the remarks you just heard. I want to reiterate their point, and again, consistent with their concerns, that a proper review be done by the County Planning Commission, consistent with an evaluation of the zoning and the land use that's proposed for this area. Also, with understand from folks that we've already talked to that the Army Corps of Engineers has not completed a review and analysis of the soil structure and so forth. There's other considerations that Ms. Jane already voiced regarding traffic, other activities that are planned and would certainly be evident by the use of this property being developed into an ATV park. We're looking at a 332 acre parcel. Fair to note, we're not struggling for use of RV or ATV parks in this county. We have a 600 acre development right there undergoing development right now in Sandy Ridge. We've got, of course, Camp Clearwater. This park, however, is in a clearly rural slant residential area. And again, pending a review by the County Planning Commission and the Army Corps of Engineers. I think we should, look closely at foregoing any decision, regarding the development, the legal implications and so forth, let alone all the residential implications regarding zoning and land use and development of that land. So again, consistent with all of us and our comments here, we thank you for your attention. We'll look forward to hearing from you. Okay, thank you.
Anyone else, Mr. Bray? Matters of interest, Commissioner Dr. Terry Duncan introduced our new health supervisor, our mental health supervisor.
While she's coming, I got some comments on Part B.
Part B.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
when we get there.
Good evening, Board. I have some great news tonight. When I met with you last time at White Lake and gave an update on environmental health, it was not such a positive review. We had a plan in place. Tonight, it is with great pleasure and honor that I introduce to you Christy Priest. Christy comes to us with 26 years as an environmental health specialist. She is certified in every discipline except tattoos. We already have contracted with that person that was in her county previous to coming here. We do have plans to have somebody in that tattoo class, the next one that they offer. More importantly, she comes to us with 14 years' experience as a supervisor. When I spoke with you last, I had shared, when Christy came a month ago today, the plan, and Christy took that plan and has developed it and put the true environmental health spin on it, and I'm gonna let her give you the update tonight, because it's exciting.
So I'm very glad to be here. I thank you for your time tonight, and I appreciate some of you that I've already spoken with. If I can be of help, please call me. When I came to Bladen County, we had 90 applications outstanding for our septic system, our septic program. As of today, we are at the number of 45, so we've cut it in half. We have Chris Bordeaux, who just received his authorization in on-site wastewater, so we now will have 2 specialists plus myself that can do septic permits. So the goal in mind is to, provide that customer service that we all know that we need, get those permits issued in a timely manner, and answer questions in a timely manner. I've been answering questions in the office for people who are calling and customers who are coming in, and I think that's been a great help to staff, because during the day, if our administrative assistant is the only person there, she doesn't know those answers to those questions. So that's been a great help to be able to have a face that the public could come and ask questions to. Do you guys have questions for me?
Ms. Priest, what is the plan? Are you still using part-time help to catch us up, or?
We do have 2 contract employees from Columbus County. They have not worked in the last 2 weeks, so it's just been, Bladen County staff.
They did 24 permits for us on Saturday.
Cameron?
Loaded question, but it needs to be answered. There's obviously a moratorium at Bay Tree, so there are people that have been building houses. One just moved in this week that built with a septic tank. A lot of conflict, a lot of controversy out there, whether it's legal, whether it's allowed. So I've got people saying, hey, it looks like moratorium's gonna be there for a while. We'd like to move forward. There being a little bit of pushback. Do you know what's the best answer for us to tell folks at the Bay Tree that are considering building with the septic?
Terry should be able to answer that, because we talked about that.
So the homeowners base, the homeowners are there. They have what we're doing with our permit is we're saying that you can have, that the soil will accept a septic tank there. It is up to the individual owner at that point.
Take it to their planning, to their board. Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to say one thing to Commissioner McGill. If the public, anybody from that area, if they present to us with an application, by law, we have to present them with an answer, either a denial or a permit. What they do with the permit, according to their moratorium or plans, is up to their planning board. So when they present to us, we have to give them an answer.
Gotcha, thank you.
And then Dr. Musgoins had asked a question at our last meeting. I talked with Christie on my way home that night. She had an answer for Dr. Musgoins the next day, and where we thought it was environmental health, it really was an NC rebuild issue. So we're able to get an answer. I'm able to get an answer a lot quicker, more efficiently, and y'all are able, and the citizens are able to get that.
Yes, sir. Thank you and welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
And I'm enjoying Bladen County so far, and I appreciate that.
She is, and Diana are going to a workshop tonight. By the way, we now have 2 food and lodging, environmental health specialists that are authorized. So we have a total now of 5.
Are you fully staffed now?
Yes, sir.
Oh, great, good.
So there's,
That will make a huge difference.
so there's no reason to relocate, workspace, not necessary.
Christie is evaluating that.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item B is, consider providing water service for Duncan's estate. Well, if you had something to say?
Yes, I have a couple questions and comments. We received an estimate of $36,000 from the water department director that versus the $75,000 that was requested. But, I have a question. Is it illegal if we go ahead and do the $75,000? Is that illegal?
I'll be glad to answer that, because the reason I took it off the agenda last month was because I didn't have an itemized statement, and I sent this to Mr. Dunn, get itemized statement, and providing the pipe, 4-inch pipe. Normally, all we do as a county is we do the bore and we get the water to the ditch. That's all we've ever done. We don't go on personal property to run water lines. We just can't do it.
But it's not illegal to do it though. Is it illegal?
I don't know if it's illegal, but
There's
once you run that water line and put that meter and stuff, it's Bladen County's for life. And me personally, I don't want responsibility for it. So now if it's legal or not, I don't know. We've never done it before.
That answer can get complicated, to be honest with you. I mean, it's not a clear yes or clear no, Commissioner Bull.
Can I have a question then? The gentleman from the west, what was his name, who got the house and stuff? He asked it. Now,
AJ,
what's his name?
Keaton, AJ Keaton,
Yeah. Now, his was just to the road,
to the road.
but we were willing to help him on that, and that's what, I understand that. I think I'm not asking that it go to personal property. I'm not asking for that. But I'm only asking to give the same consideration that we give to others. If you take it to that area, that's it, that's all. I'm okay with that.
And that's what I was saying, that's what Mr. Ed was coming back with, that's what we've always done with the 36.
Yeah.
36.
But I don't think it was questioned for him with just the water. He just ended with water. But he was asking also, was additional funds that he could use, or the county could use, to supplement or to assist with the housing that's needed in the county. And for everyone else, somehow we can find money for anyone else in this county, for anybody else, for most people.
We don't do it for personal property. We cannot take tax dollars and subsidize someone's income or someone's income to come.
Understand
And
that?
that would be what that's doing.
And that's
Duncan
what
is
you
an
told me.
individual, and
Thank you.
we can't do that.
Okay.
So now, the development we did with, in Bladen Blooming agricultural, the recent housing development we talked about in the closed session, did we involve the county, employee in that?
Yeah. We ain't done nothing yet.
Wasn't it approved?
No, we got a temporary study by LKC, what it would cost. That's all we got.
So why waste the
But
time?
that is a nonprofit organization. It's not a private organization either.
Okay. Oh, so the difference is for profit and not non-profit.
And that where within lies, where it can get very complicated from a legal standpoint, too. It's not clear yes or no.
Motion by Mr.
Well,
Campbell.
I haven't finished, sir. Well, I think we went with the 75,000, that would increase the tax revenue because, the housing project would add new residents and the tax toll. So, we will far be ahead of the $75,000 if we did that. The economic growth, more housing attracts residents, which boosts local businesses, create jobs, and increases overall electronic equipment and economic activity in the county. So I think we should do the $75,000. Now, the new housing development will raise surrounding property values, further increasing the county's property tax revenue. So we can get that $75,000 back pretty quick. It'll meet housing demand. Since there is a housing shortage, this project can help meet demand, making the county more attractive to new residents and businesses. Long-term fiscal benefits. The one-time funding request will result in a long-term revenue stream for the county through property taxes, ensuring a sustainable return on the $75,000 investment. Infrastructure utilization. The project makes better use of existing services, ensuring that the county investments in utilities and public services are maximized. So we give them the $75,000, it would be positive on Bladen County receiving tax revenue. Quality housing contributes to the community development, making the county a more desirable place to live, to work, and it'll be boosting our tax revenue. So this year, I think we should pay the $75,000. And Mr. Chairman, I offer a motion that we approve $75,000 for the financial request for East
And I second it, but I want to add a comment to that. On the facility,
Motion by Mr. Bullock, second by Dr. Althea Montgomery. Now we'll discuss.
on the distillery at the park. Now, that's private. Somehow we got funds for him. How do you think, how does some business, personal business, for profit, get funds in other something?
Dr. Althea Montgomery, I tried to explain to y'all to start with, we don't take tax dollars and subsidize the individual, private individual to make money. And everything Mr. Bullock said is probably true, but we do not take tax dollars and subsidize water for individuals.
I heard that, you're just saying water. But my question was, how did we?
That's a Bladen, Blooming, and Town Town answer question.
Okay, thank you.
I can't answer
Thank
that. So there's a motion on the floor for $75,000. Is there, Dr. Freeman seconded it? Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no? No. Motion dies.
Make a motion, 36,000, just to keep in step with what we've been doing for the other projects and not to set a precedent.
Motion by Mr. McGill, second by Mr. Brett, to approve the $36,000. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you, sir. So this $36,000 is pending permits and work going on. Okay.
Like a reimbursement, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I've got one thing.
Unless you make the president, I'm Chair, I hope we use the same precedents that you use for others.
yes, ma'am.
Don't pick and choose.
Agree.
Thank you.
3M Health Resource, Ms. Celia.
I've got one thing from commissioners.
Oh, I'm sorry, hold on, I'm sorry. Ms. Campbell got a commissioner issue.
Yeah, just,
I'm sorry.
and the gentleman reached out to me, because of the expense, we're no longer doing the recycling. I know it's been an issue in Kelly and some other places where they've taken the recycle dumpster, in essence, away, but they've not replaced it with an additional trash dumpster, which means the items that used to go in the recycle, they're told now you just got to put it in the trash, but unfortunately there's no room, and so it's overflowing. And it's common sense to going, you give us one less dumpster, recycle or not, we need another dumpster. So I don't.
we'll follow up on that in the morning.
Thank you.
Okay.
Follow up on that in the morning.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, along the same line, I don't know what, the trash dumpsters that are outside of in the county. I carried a box to one, and the lady said, hey, you need to crush that box, but down on Mercer Mill Road, you don't have to crush them, so why is there a difference?
I don't know, I found out. You got two different people there, like,
It does make room.
Yeah, it makes room, but on Mercer Mill Road, you don't have to crush them.
But when
I'll
it's,
find out, I'll get back with you.
help the recycling part.
So one thing that we have done on recycling, I have offered these recycle trailers to all the fire departments or anybody else that wants one in the community to let me know, and we'll take that trailer there to them, and you can get $500 to $800 a load out of it. You can give it to whichever organization you want to give it to. So if you know anybody that wants a trailer in the community, I'll get you a trailer in the community for recycled cans, and you can have a profit, do whatever you want to do with it. Anyone else got anything under commissioner's comment? Write this down, cardboard. Yeah. Okay, Cecilia, I'm sorry. No problem.
A lot on your plate this evening.
We'll get there, because it's fit back through the window.
Heads up.
Yes, sir.
I like it. I feel comfortable.
I don't know if y'all prefer if I stand or sit. But I appreciate you having me in, Chairman Peterson and commissioners. You heard a mid-year update that was really focused on Trillium's launch of our tailored plan benefit plan, which is behavioral health services in combination with physical health services, bringing that network underneath of us. So this is the annual report. And again, I'm Cecilia Pierce. I'm your Southern Regional Vice President. So this is kind of an overall review of the year, some updates, and some local data. Next slide. Okay. So just before we get into information, I always like to talk about Trillium's mission. So we are your local management entity and managed care organization, and our mission is transforming lives and building community well-being through partnerships and proven solutions. As Commissioner Peterson and I have worked together on some things, I always say that Trillium wants to be a partner. We can't do everything, but we will try our hardest to do what we can to support our members and to support the mental health and developmental disability needs of folks in Bladen County. One of the things that's important to understand about Trillium is we do not provide direct services. We contract with a network of providers, just like most insurance companies do, where folks will go to those providers' offices to receive direct care. So we manage that care, we pay claims, we develop that network, we look at the data to make sure that the folks that we're serving are getting served at the right level of care in the right amount at the right time. And so members can access our network by calling our call center line or by accessing our provider directory on the website. Next slide. So as you all are aware, we went from 28 counties to 46 counties last February in 2024. And so we are, in terms of the area, the number of counties, and the number of tailored plan members, the largest of the 4 LME-MCOs in the state currently. And so throughout our region, that is 3.1 million people total of population. 51,000 of those members are tailored plans, so they're getting that whole person care. 163,000 members are still part of that Medicaid direct system, where we're paying for services related to behavioral health. Their physical health is being covered by another network. So there are certain populations that are carved out of managed care. The Medicare, Medicaid population, those, we call them dual eligible, they're our primary population that's carved out because Medicare is a primary payer. Kids in foster care are also carved out of that system, and you'll hear a little bit more about that in a minute. And then we still have a large number of people who are uninsured. So we're seeing more folks sign on to Medicaid after expansion, but we still have a large number that are uninsured. And so we have a smaller benefit plan through state funding that covers some behavioral health services for those folks. Next slide. So this is a little chunky on the screen, so I'll just kind of talk through it. Because we are covering 46 counties, it's too large to keep us focused locally. So what we do is we created 5 different regions so that we could have regional boards and regional consumer and family advisory committees that focus in on the needs and concerns of those regions. And so Commissioner Britt is appointed to our regional board, and we also have Dr. Molly Glenn, who's representing Bladen County on that board. And then we also have Tommy Thompson, who is part of our CFAC. So we have representation on both of those boards. And then we also have staff that are out in the community working with your teams at DSS, at the health department, with the sheriff's office, with the schools, to try to coordinate on our members' needs, because our members interact with a lot of those systems, and we want to make sure that that goes smoothly. And so that's myself as your regional vice president, and we can go to the next slide. And then Dina Hamilton is in our audience here, and she's your community liaison. So between Dina and I, we cover multiple meetings in the community, answer questions, and provide information. We also have a new position after consolidation, which is community engagement and empowerment. So we have 2 staff that are doing that, and they really look across all of our 46 counties to see what's happening overall, to try to bring efforts that are happening in one region to another region if there's a need, to take information that's happening in the southern region in Bladen County to other areas as well, so that we can share the knowledge. That's the great thing about having a large organization that's still locally focused, is we can share knowledge across our regions. And so all of us are available to you to answer questions, to field any concerns. Next slide. So just a little bit about the budget. So last year was our last fiscal year under the old Medicaid managed care model, where we were not operating as a tailored plan. So our total revenue was about $1.2 billion. The expectation is that's going to at least double with us operating as a tailored plan, because of the cost of those physical health benefits. So you'll see it broken down. Medicaid services was the primary source of Trillium's revenue, and that goes back into the community as services. We have a risk reserve that we're required to maintain, and we meet those requirements per state definition. You'll see the state benefits for those people who are uninsured, significantly less than those Medicaid services. We have not received an increase in those state benefits in probably 15 years. So that is one of the areas where we have a huge need and underfunding. And then we receive around $5 million from county and other contributions. We have federal block grants and other state initiatives that come in as separate pots of money. And then we do receive some administrative dollars from the state for general operations. And that we try to keep as low as possible. Right now, it's around 11.6%. Next slide. So we also wanted to kind of do a comparison and some information as to what it looks like now that we are operating under a tailored plan. So we did a smaller condensed chart for July through December of last year. So we served 80,019 unique individuals. 57,388 received mental health care. 15,583 received substance use services, and 18,537 had an intellectual or developmental disability. And that does include traumatic brain injury as well. The total value of service related to claims was a little over $802 million. That's separate from some of those block grant and other dollars that don't come in as claims. So there are some residential support services, some things for juvenile justice that come in as separate pots of money. Next slide. And so I'm going to go through these very fast because I provided you with that mid-year update. Obviously, we launched as a tailored plan. We had some lessons learned. We had a really high call volume. As much information as got mailed out in advance of the tailored plan launch, people still look at something, think it's junk mail, throw it away, and then realize when they go to their doctor's office that they need a Trillium Medicaid card instead of their old Medicaid card, because we've now changed. So we got a lot of questions around that, around physical health benefits, around providing care management services, helping people identify who their care manager is, whether it's within Trillium or with a local provider. And then there was also a need for longer-term flexibilities for our providers to make sure that they continue to pay claims without having prior authorization required for services while they got adjusted to the new claims system, particularly on the physical health side. So we've been able to maintain our clean claims payment at about 99% within 30 days. So that's one of the key things. We want our members to continue to receive services. We want to pay our providers to maintain that network. And you'll see one thing that I like to point out as well, and you'll see this on some future slides, the standard plans listed, AmeriHealth, Blue Cross, United Healthcare, WellCare. Those are the standard plans. Those are the commercial plans covering around 70 to 75% of the Medicaid population. So we cover around 25 to 30%, depending on which county we're in and what the needs are in that county. Next slide. So we have gone through the process of Medicaid transformation. This slide kind of walks through that with the standard plans, Medicaid Direct up until the launch of the tailored plan. The next phase of the state's kind of transformation of Medicaid is to have a foster care plan, which is the Child and Family Plan, and that should launch at the end of this year. Blue Cross and Blue Shield did get the contract to offer that statewide plan, and it's for children in foster care. It's for children who have aged out of the foster care system but are still connected to get some additional support. And that will roll out first, and then it will also serve those child's families as well. And that really was designed so that there's one plan that covers that population throughout the state, because before those services were covered by the LME MCOs, and there were some challenges around that in terms of accessing care quickly with our different networks and how that coverage was working out. Next slide. So this covers kind of some of that overall data in terms of Medicaid enrollment throughout the state. So we cover about 7% of Medicaid recipients throughout the state, and that is 75,624, 21%, in our catchment area. I said throughout the state, it's in our catchment area, 46 counties. 21% of those individuals we cover with our Medicaid Direct plan, and then the additional 72% are covered by those standard plans, with the highest being covered by Healthy Blue, followed by United Healthcare and WellCare. Next slide. So we'll look at how that breaks down for Bladen County. At the end of December, your total Medicaid enrollment was around 13,911 individuals. That changes from month to month, depending on folks coming in, coming off, moving between plans. With tailored plan members, we're serving around 7% of that group, and Medicaid Direct is around 24%, so we serve around 31%, and then the standard plans cover around 69% of that Medicaid population, again with Healthy Blue covering the most, followed by United Healthcare and Carolina Complete Health, which is a provider-led entity. Next slide. So a couple of things that we wanted to highlight that are just local initiatives or initiatives that are unique to Trillium. We continue to disperse naloxone kits to our counties, and that is just to help reduce and prevent overdoses. We have a series of health summits and reentry simulation events, really designed to focus on our members' health issues. And the reentry simulations are focused on helping develop understanding of the needs of people who are returning from jail or prison, and to be more responsive and supportive of the needs of that population so that they don't recidivate. We have partnered with the state to offer a chest health app, and that app is for substance use support. So just like you might have an app for wellness, or you might have an app for monitoring other conditions, it lets folks know where meetings are. It provides access to peer support. It sets up reminders. You can have your substance use recovery plan on there, and you can also connect it through your provider. So if you're struggling with something, your provider gets an alert, and they can call and help you through that issue. And a lot of our providers have peer support, so you get that built-in peer support with your provider. Again, we have mobile behavioral health units to try to provide additional access for behavioral health services in underserved areas. And Bladen County is part of that Healthy Opportunities pilot. So they're using Medicaid funds to pay for social health needs like housing, transportation, food access, interpersonal safety. And the return on investment so far with the Healthy Opportunities pilot is really positive. So it saves about $80 per member per month who is enrolled in the Healthy Opportunities pilot. Because those community health needs are being met, folks are falling less into crisis and able to focus on their health and their family well-being, rather than just kind of operating in survival mode, trying to find your next meal or trying to figure out where you're going to put your head at night. And then Victory Junction, we continue to partner with them for our family weekends, providing opportunities for our members to go to camp who would not normally be able to go to a camp. Victory Junction provides all accessible activities so that people of different behavioral health challenges or physical health needs can still go and have a great time, and families get a little bit of respite from their day-to-day. You'll see the pictures up here are of CIT training, of the inclusive and accessible playground, and then that Coastal Horizons mobile unit. Next slide. So getting down to the folks that we served in Bladen County. So last year, we served 882 members in Bladen County. 644 had mental health needs, 205 had substance use needs, and 155 had intellectual and developmental disabilities. And you'll see that those actually add up to more than 882 because we have overlap. So someone with substance use also might have mental health needs. Someone with IDD will have behavioral health needs. And then the value of services provided was $7,734,444. And a couple of other things that I wanted to point out. We have received a special grant through the Coalition to End Homelessness called Back at Home. And so we were able to provide some housing for up to 2 years, along with utility support rental assistance. So we have enrolled 11 people in that program. 6 are housed, and 5 we're helping right now through the housing search process. So we're anticipating that they're going to get placement. So that's one of the things. We have a housing team that works with your local regional housing committee and helps to try and connect people to housing resources. Yeah, I'm essentially done. Just the last slide is our member and recipient service line for anyone who needs that, and our behavioral health crisis line. Folks can access us if they're having a behavioral health crisis. Even if they're not a Trillium member, our clinicians will help figure out how to get them connected to care.
I have a question on the foster care.
Are they age capped at 18 or is it extended?
So they age out of foster care at 18, and I'm not sure, or folks are still.
Still 18?
I'm looking over to Jill to make sure I'm saying the right thing. From 18 to 21, there is kind of an extension of that service that is designed to provide support while a child is in school or working, just to help with that transition, because we know that's a really tough time.
And the other, when you talked about the health, the physical health as well as behavior,
Mm-hmm.
how does it affect those who had service without providers before they came to Trillium? How does that bridge that?
Yeah, so anyone who is eligible to bill Medicaid can be part of our network. So the physical health side, the behavioral health side has been a closed network for a long time. The physical health side has always been different. So we have an open physical health network. So anyone who wants to bill Medicaid and be part of our network, they're welcome to join. They just have to register and meet the requirements.
And that was the reason why they should have the card, Medicare.
Yes, so we are now issuing those Medicaid cards for our members. So any member of ours can request a card, and we send them out at the beginning of every year with your member information packet. And then we partnered with Carolina Complete Health to kind of piggyback on their physical health existing network so that we would not have to start that process all on our own. So anyone who is part of Carolina Complete Health was onboarded to Trillium's health network.
But if their healthcare is always, if they're not part of your service, how do they bridge that?
So if they have Medicaid, but they're not a Trillium member, they're going to be part of another, they're going to be part of another plan. So if they have, because we only cover either Medicaid or those state-funded services. So if they have Medicaid and maybe they're on a standard plan, if they're dual eligible, they could be part of our plan if they have those really high behavioral health needs. So we're talking about folks who maybe have a developmental disability and are now eligible for Medicare, but still get services through Trillium because they live in a group home, or they get community-based services, or someone who has schizophrenia. And, you know, we provide their behavioral health support. As they get older, they become dual eligible.
Mark, I want to say, I recently had to use your behavioral health, crisis line. Excellent job.
Thank you very much.
You guided me in the right direction, and you got the help you needed.
Well, I just got a question, when you compare our county with other counties, how, the use of your services by our citizens is pretty well up there, or?
It's pretty standard. So I'm looking at the list, and some of the counties in our catchment area that are fairly close to you all are, let's say, Anson County. Their total number of members being served is around 652. Value of services is a little less, right? So because the number of members is a little less. Looking at other counties, kind of close to you all in terms of population and size. Let's see, you all are kind of 27. Martin County, kind of up in our northeast area. Again, they have around 700 members that we're serving and a little under $7 million. So it's right in line with the value of services being offered in a county of your size. One thing that varies from one area to another is the breakdown of mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities.
I want you to email me your public information flyer.
Okay.
That's me, and include your housing information and all that.
Sure. Yeah.
We need to send that to all commissioners.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm just,
Yeah, that's
all of it.
I'm
And then in that flyer, it tells the public how they can obtain services through Trillium.
Yeah, so our main brochure is, we call it Accessing Care, and it has that information in there, all of the different numbers, the nurse line, the transportation line. So we'll get that out to you all along with the housing information.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
So how was the housing communication communicated? I don't remember seeing that.
So our housing, yeah, so it's not one of those things that we advertise through our normal channels. Our housing team manages, federal HUD grants, or state grants for people who are literally homeless. So we receive all those referrals through the continuum of care process. So there's a homeless continuum of care. You have a regional committee that, yep. So when they screen someone as being homeless and in need of housing, and we have an opening in our housing program to provide funding, they'll send a referral over to us, and that's how folks will get housing. So we don't advertise that the same way because not everyone is necessarily eligible for it. But we do obviously communicate with the continuum of care groups throughout our region.
So Victory Junction, have we ever seen a family from Bladen County?
I'd have to check with our team.
Can we make sure that Bladen County gets on board? Because I don't think we have, but.
Absolutely. I'm happy to share flyers. So those flyers go out through care managers. They go out through our system of care coordinators. And I know Dina has personally shared the Victory Junction flyer when those dates get announced. But I can check with our team on folks who have come to Victory Junction from Bladen County.
I don't know a whole lot about what the people talk about. That's a lot of things. But foster care, I know there's legislation in Raleigh right now around foster care. I hope Trillium gets on board and pushes that, because it's eating our lunch. I mean, like millions of dollars. It's coming out of tax dollars that we don't have no choice but to pay it. We got to have some relief on that. I just glad that see ahead of time.
Yeah, and I think you brought that up at the last meeting as well. So some of the things that we've tried to do is work more on the prevention side. So when we have a child who is starting to get involved with Child Protective Services before they go into foster care, to try to wrap supports around them. So we have high fidelity wraparound, we have intensive in-home services to try to provide support to that kid and that family to keep them stable in their home.
So in Bladen County, that's not working. We need more help.
So happy to,
Ours is double.
yeah.
So we really got to have some help with that.
Okay. Yeah.
Does Avery County have an increase like Bladen is for foster children?
Not that I know of. I'd have to check with our team to see where we've seen increases. So, and again, we want to be responsive to changing things in the community. So if things were going well and then you got an influx and they're not going well anymore, we're happy to sit down, work through each case, each situation to try to figure out how we can provide additional support.
You know, because I thought though, Mr. Speaker, I really thought that the counties who have been supposed to send them to our county, they eat that up. But it looks like we pay all of that, and to me, that's not the way it's supposed to work.
Yeah, so we cover residential services for children. They have to essentially qualify as a Trillium member. One of the challenges I think that we're seeing is that we have less providers, so it takes longer to get kids into the right residential setting. And so what's happening is counties are essentially filling the gap in care until we can pick up that bill. And that's where there's that financial strain on you all. We try to reduce that, but if there's anything else that we can do, we will try to do that.
Yeah, we got kids in New York. We have to fly to New York to supervise for our thing. And that's ridiculous. I mean, if they're in New York, somebody in New York ought to be supervising instead of us having to buy a plane ticket to pay everything to go to supervise or check on a kid. I don't mean that negative, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
There should be another way. There should be another way to do it, and we need help.
Yeah. And part of it's their county of Medicaid. Even if they move out, if their county of Medicaid is still here, then you all are still on the hook.
Transfer Medicaid to New York?
Yeah. It's the responsibility of the caregiver.
That might be the answer.
Yeah, but we have our DSS. Yeah, we have our DSS team that works with your team, but if y'all need some additional support, we're happy to.
I'm telling you, I'm not just, we need help.
I know.
Come more into the budget meeting and we'll show you. Anyone else? Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. Going home. Oh, Lord. Revenue Department. consider accepting the private sale request.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, we have a previous owner who's requesting the board to consider accepting a private sale, for the property at 276 IWS Drive, and with full payments not to exceed 120 days.
Motion by Mr. Cameron, second by, who's that? Mr. Ellis, any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed?
Thank you.
Emergency Medical Service, Mr. David Howe. Consider approving the amended fee schedule.
Yeah, we met with myself and Lisa met with the billing company on April 1st, did our normal business review, and after looking at everything, with the calendar year 2025 AFI number, the ambulance inflation number, it was increased by the federal government by 2.5%. So we're missing the basket on that 2.5% out the gate. And then with some other things we were looking at, it was a suggestion that we do increase, and you'll see the numbers on your chart if you have it in front of you, basically by 5% in all categories. Now, with the exception of A0434, which is specialty care transports, it shouldn't be on there. That's not ours. We don't do that.
All right.
So that was just a mistake. I didn't catch it till a little while ago. So,
434 shouldn't be on there.
How about
No.
3-3?
A0434 specialty care.
How about 3-3?
33 is, we do that, but it's very rare.
Motion by Mr. Britt, second by.
Second.
Doc,
He did,
I second.
He did.
you answer your question?
Yes, you have a question.
Okay.
So what is the LS?
ALS levels, those are the levels set by Medicare for different stages of billing. It's based off of treatments provided. So for example, ALS level 2, that's where you give at least 3 intravenous medications. Right, for example, cardiac arrest.
Right.
Your higher acuity costs, basically.
And what about specialty, all that stuff?
Yeah, no, that shouldn't have been on there. That's more of your critical care trusts.
So they get paid,
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. So, yeah, are they still required to pay the percentage, the copay?
Yes, the contractuals were what, 20%?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how we collecting on them?
Our current collection rate right now was actually a very good 77.5% current for this year. We're actually, since switching billing companies, we're up 41% billing revenue. We've met projections last year, actually exceeded them, and we're on track to meet projections this year.
The effective date of this is July 1.
It is actually as soon as y'all say it is approved. Because actually, it should have been done probably 60 days ago.
All right, thank you.
Question? Yes, sir.
You got that, 77%, collection rate. How many bills do you send a person?
They actually continue, they bill what, 3 times, Lisa, he said, and they continue collecting as far as from the insurance carrier themselves. We have, how should I say this? We've got some stuff out there from 23, they're still trying to collect from secondary insurance. They will not write off till we're looking at 5 years. So we're still trying to pull from lower hanging fruit. Yes, and EMS management, we did have a large number that was in AR. Lisa can attest to this, we've actually dropped that number significantly that they're collecting on. Yes.
Okay. Any other questions? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Thank you, Mr. Davis.
Thank you, sir.
Motion to go in water board. Second. By Mr. Cameron, second by Mr. Davis, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Consider accepting water board. B is consider adopting a resolution for setting a local water supply plan for East Bladen. And C is for West Bladen. So we'll put both of them together, okay? Motion by Mr. Britt, second by Mr. Gillespie. Any discussion? No question? You sure? Too hot, brother. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Thank you, Mr. Don. Motion good. Cameron, second by Mr. Hester.
Okay.
The exit water board, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Advisory board appointment, keep Bladen beautiful.
You're waiting on that one answer.
So you need just one person.
We need one person, only find one for us.
I'm committed, so I'm still working on it.
Okay.
Motion table.
Second.
Motion table, Mr. Cameron, second by Mr. Gillespie. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So this nursing home advisory committee, these ladies that were on there are not eligible, so we need 3 more people.
Yeah.
Those 3 right there look good. Anybody got anybody?
I bet we could vote them in.
That's the ones who require training.
No training,
That's not,
no training.
What's the
Okay.
other requirement?
home nursing. Okay.
You just attend the quarterly, is it quarterly meeting?
Where and how long? Where and how? Quarterly?
Quarterly.
I know, what day is the month, I gotta tell them something. Can you tell me anything about it, so I can
No,
send it to
not
them?
talking, no, well, if you got anybody, we'll do it, not, we'll table it, do it next month.
No, not tonight, I just wanna know if they can send me
We'll-
this information.
Miss Maria sent you the
Okay.
on the table.
Second.
Mr. Table,
Yeah.
Mr. Campbell, second, well, Mr. Gillespie, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the advisory board for October 21st is Keep Bladen Beautiful. Nursing Home Advisory Committee and Dublin Fire District, Rodney, Minion, and Kelly Water District and Drainage. Calendar review. So tomorrow, got a blood drive at Hickory Grove Baptist Church. Got a special meeting at 3 o'clock with budget. 6 o'clock, Animal Control Board. The 10th is the Firefighter Association at East Arcadia. This Thursday. The 12th is Touch a Truck at the Community College and Spring Clean at Lewis Drive. And it's, the 13th is Spring Fling also, so it's 2 days, Spring Fling at Lewis Drive. 14th is Health and Human Service Advisory Council meeting. 16th is, budget meeting at 4 o'clock. County offices closed the 18th. The 19th, Easter at Line One's Park. 2 to 6. Board of Commissioners meets the 21st. Keep Bladen Beautiful meets the 29th. May the 5th is prayer service at 8 o'clock and commissioners meet at 6:30. The 8th is Bladen County Fire Association meeting, it'll be at Livingston Fire Department, and United Way of Carrying is tonight. Is that a countywide meeting, Mr. Reed, or is that? Are they coming?
Actual day of.
Day of Carrying. Oh, okay, day of work. The 12th is Bladen County Sheriff's Office Peace Officer Memorial Services at, 8 o'clock that morning. And it's gonna be at the jail sheriff's office unless it rains, and then it'll be at Foundation Church right there at the corner. 5 o'clock is Health and Human Service Advisory Board. The 19th is the Commissioners meet at 6:30. 26th, the county offices closed Memorial Day, and 27th, Bladen Beautiful meets again. Matters of interest, Commissioner, anyone have anything?
Where we stand with the, funding that we gave Clarkson one time?
We need to bring that back.
Yeah.
We don't stand nowhere.
We tabled it, but it never came back up, so we just need to. put
Wasn't
that
it
in.
returned back to the county?
Yeah, it was returned, but when you return it, you don't get it back. This is for votes to do something.
Was it, part of it not, USDA loan? Or
No.
which one's that? This is just the county money? We have to reapply for it?
It's county dollars. We'll,
50/50 match. That's what I thought.
What, it was returned because it wasn't utilized in timely or what?
I can't answer the question. We want to put it back on the agenda, we'll put it back on the
That'd
agenda.
be all right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll put it back on the agenda.
Try to get all the information to you,
Thanks, sir.
the details, because I don't know them all for sure. Anything else? Any other commissioners, got anything? If there's a delegation wish to address the commissioners?
Motion not to go in closed session.
Denied.
Motion to go into closed session, Chair.
Second.
Closed session according to the NCG 143-318-11A3, attorney-client privilege, NCG 143-318-11A4, economic development, and NCG 143-318-11 personnel. Motion by Mr. Cameron Hammer, second by Mr. Gillespie. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Let's go get a drink or something, a couple of water or something.
Oh, Lord.
Well, I do. I do.
And we're hanging, bro. We're there.
Got that? Yep.
Take me today, they found out that we got a nerve conduction test that doing the, block, for the surgery. Ended up Saturday.
This conference will now be recorded.
First, we come out, close session about Mr. Warren, thank you about Dr. Duffy, any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any other business for the board?
Make a motion that we continue, status quo with Causeway serving as acting interim county manager, and for an intentional period of 6 months to be reviewed at the end of that based on our current search, and to increase the monthly, salary, to a total of $10,000 per month to begin April.
Second. Motion by Mr. Cameron, second by Mr. Gillespie. You heard the motion. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed?
Nay.
Have one nay. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Mr. Cameron, second by second. That is the wrong. 3 o'clock tomorrow. All in favor, say aye. 3 o'clock tomorrow.